This is One-on-One. We are now joined by Kristine Burns, a second grade teacher at Robeson Elementary School in our state capital, Trenton, New Jersey. Good to see you.
Thank you.
This is part of our Classroom Close-Up series we do in cooperation with our partners at the New Jersey Education Association. You're about to see a video in just a moment or so. Kristine, set this up for us. This is a story that is all about this book,
yes,
right? The Hedgepeth-Williams story. Fascinating, real quick setup. 10 years before the famous 1954 Brown versus Topeka
yes.
Board of Education case, which, you know, segregation, not legal in this country. 1944, what happens?
In Trenton, New Jersey, two mothers decided that their African-American students had the right to go to any school in Trenton, and they hired an attorney to challenge the Trenton Board of Education. Way back then,
wow.
The NAACP ended up getting involved. It went all the way to the New Jersey Supreme Court, and that quickly, this started in August of 1943. By January of 1944, the New Jersey Supreme Court already had its ruling, which we know how long court cases can languish. And I really feel, and my students did as well, that because of this fast track, that New Jersey knew something needed to change.
10 years later was the Brown versus Board of Education case. In fact, the NAACP was represented by the great Thurgood Marshall
yes.
at the time, who served on the U.S. Supreme Court. Let's take a look at the piece put together by our great partners at the NJEA and Classroom Close-Up, and we'll come back and talk.
Thank you.
Let's take a look at the clip.
A long time ago, something important happened in Trenton, New Jersey. Two families changed a school and the way people thought.
Mrs. Williams and Mrs. Hedgepeth got a lawyer and sued the Trenton Board of Education. On January 31st, 1944, the New Jersey Supreme Court said it was unlawful for boards of education to exclude children from any public school on the grounds that they are of the Negro race.
Our amazing school was the first to let black kids in, even though Junior 2 was not built for Negroes. That made New Jersey the first state to make public schools to let black kids into any school.
Today, Junior High School Number 2, which once barred African Americans from attending, no longer exists. Sitting alongside Robeson Elementary School, the building that used to be known as Junior 2 is now the home of Hedgepeth-Williams Middle School. Renamed to honor the two Trenton mothers whose historic fight against racial discrimination was cited as precedent for the U.S. Supreme Court's decision in the landmark case of Brown versus Board of Education 10 years later. 3 years ago, when these students were in second grade, they researched and wrote a book about the important role their school played in the struggle for civil rights. Now, as fifth graders, they're being recognized for their work, and the book, The Hedgepeth-Williams Story, is being published.
They did this, and because of what they did, this story will be told
Over and over.
Forever, and that's pretty powerful for,
it is powerful.
You know, an elementary school student to have created something like that.
Shields and Burns guided the students through the research and writing process for the book. The idea had grown out of the students' interest in Black History Month, the Civil Rights Movement, and the story behind the school's name.
They really made it their own, and they turned it into, you know, such a collaboration. They really did drive us to
Yes.
keep it going, and their interest is really what made all of this come to fruition.
Yes, the momentum that
Yes.
their interest built.
So it made
really-
us say, you know what, even 3 years later, we need to see this through.
After it was completed, logistics and budget constraints kept the book from being properly printed until the Trenton Public Education Foundation was able to assist with the publishing and distribution of the book to schools and libraries throughout the state.
You know, I think it's about time that we get it out there, and I think it's been a long time coming.
I walked down these halls of this school and realized that I am walking in history. This is their neighborhood school that they might not think a lot about, but now they know that it really is something that was important to our whole country.
I don't think it gets much better than that. I mean, what were you feeling as you watched that?
Immense pride in my students, the fact that it was so important to them. And interestingly enough, we have a very substantial Spanish population in my school as well. And their first question was, where do we fit in? What would have happened to us? Where would they have made us go to school? And they were very introspective, and they really were, quite frankly, appalled when they turned to the person next to them and said, that means we couldn't go to school together, and we're friends. And it didn't make any sense to them. And they truly, because of their passion, inspired this project. They wanted to take it to the next level.
What has it done for you as an educator?
It has shown me that even second graders have fabulous ideas, maybe even more so than the adults. I myself would have never thought to come up with something like this. And the students said, we really need to let people know how important our school was, why it's named this, and why this is important. This is important to all of New Jersey and our whole country. We were first. We did something that is right for everyone. And it may seem, because of their, it may seem very trite in that type of a language, but really it's the big idea, and it's how to treat others and tolerance and things like that. And they really, they enjoyed it, and they were inspiring and impassioned, and they really drove us to see this through.
This book, people are now going to be very curious. They're going to want to find out what they do. By the way, let's put up the website for our partners, if we could, at the NJEA. Now, Classroom Closeup, they're going to find out more information there as well. People are going to want to get it. What do they do?
Well, the funding was provided by the Trenton Public Education Foundation. They, we did
for Trenton.
For Trenton, and it is also on ebook copy, which we are attempting to get distributed through the New Jersey Public Librarians Association.
Shouldn't every student be reading this? No.
I absolutely think that. It would be my hope that we could perhaps have this be part of the social studies curriculum throughout the state. It's not just a Trenton thing, it is all of New Jersey thing.
I don't want to get political here because it's not my role, but there are a whole range of core curriculum standards that would require kids to learn. How is it that this is not that?
And I would question the same thing, Steve. I would question.
Someone would have to tell me what's more important than this.
Absolutely. And again, the pride that's instilled, especially in an inner city school, the fact that these children are walking in history and that their school played such an important role in desegregation in our entire country is so important.
Let me just say this real quick, 20 seconds left. I say this to every educator who comes in here with our partners at the NJEA and Classroom Closeup. Kristine Burns, you are a credit to your profession, and more importantly, on behalf of those of us who have kids in public schools, thank you for everything you do for our children. Thank you very much.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Celgene Corporation, Wells Fargo Foundation, Barnabas Health, Health Republic, Insurance of New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by PSE&G, committed to improving New Jersey's economy and strengthening its communities. Promotional support provided by The Record, North Jersey's trusted source, and NorthJersey.com, and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and its monthly magazine, New Jersey Business. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.